Now, a question that I get asked a lot is, are you self-sufficient in what you grow in your own backyard? So I thought I might make a video and tell you guys where I'm at with that sort of stuff and give you a bit of pointers about how much I can grow and what's the reality of it. So if you guys are curious, keep tuned. Now, the short answer, if you guys don't want to go through the whole video, is no. I am not self-sufficient with it. I have to go to the shops, I have to buy random things for fruit and veg because I just pretty much can't grow it all in my own backyard. But I thought I might go through a few more details and show you why I go to all the effort that I do inside the backyard and how much I'm actually getting out of it to give you guys a bit of an idea. Now, if you guys haven't seen my channel before and you don't know much about it, basically what I have here is an aquaponics system. Everything that I've got growing in my backyard is growing in these guys, which is basically rocks. I have rocks that are in the grow beds here and I have a fish tank which is over there. Basically what happens is I've got fish growing and pooping, the water goes straight through these beds, it cycles through it and then goes back to the fish. And the plants here grow extremely well off just the fish nutrients and the fish waste that's inside the water. So that's pretty much it. There's a bit more complicated stuff that goes into it, but the basics of it is I plant stuff and I harvest it as it goes. I don't need to do too much with weeding, I don't need to do too much with bug collection, I don't need to fertilize, I don't need to do anything like that. I feed the fish feed the plants, and that is pretty much it. And it's ideal for the climate. Where I live in Adelaide, which is a relatively arid area, and through about half of the year we get no rain. But to be honest, that's kind of an advantage for what I've got here. Like I say, I wouldn't mind it if it rained a little bit more, it keep the grass a little bit greener, but we've got to live and we've got to work with what we got. Through about 4 months of the year, we get no rain over summer, and it's the hottest time of the year for us. In this sort of system, with water flowing through the rocks, I don't need to worry about watering plants. I don't need to worry about fertilizing them. And everything that I've got growing grows extremely well. I've come out here on 45-degree days, or not quite that hot, but 43-degree days, and my tomato plants are still up and thriving. They're just looking straight up in the air. They're not even slightly water hungry, and they are growing very well. So it's basically using my climate to the advantage and working with what we got. Now, to give you guys a bit of an idea, the bed that I've got behind me is my main tomato growing, source growing bed. So this one I use pretty much exclusively for sourcing tomatoes. So I've got Romas, San Manzanos, and they are about that big at the moment. So it's going to be towards the end of the season before I'll be able to harvest them and get everything out of them. But this bed here, the directly one behind me, I got about, I think I worked it out to about 70 kilos worth of sauce all up. And I'm including this is once it's been strained through my little Mooly strainer thingy, once it's been reduced down so it's a nice thick juicy sauce. It's been enough to get us through pretty much the entire season. So something like tomatoes, I have grown enough to get us through the entire sourcing season. They don't grow all the way around. When it gets through winter, it's a bit too cold for the tomatoes to grow well. They will keep on growing and they will keep on surviving, but it's just a little bit too cold. The tomatoes don't ripen particularly well and it's just not ideal. But other things that I can grow pretty much all year round is spinach. Spinach grows insanely well in this system and my aquaponics system. And watercress grows insanely well as well, but mine has gone to seed at the moment and I'll show you what happens. So behind me here is my spinach. And as you can see, it has all pretty much gone to seed on me. It's starting to drop out all the flowers, and when this usually happens, then it's a bit late for the plants. So I am letting these ones go. Like I say, I don't need as many in here just for seed, but I'm waiting for some other tomatoes to sprout and get a little bit bigger so they'll be ready to transplant into here and then keep the bed going. But while there isn't anything actually growing in there that I need, I'm gonna let these guys go and get a whole lot of seeds. Like I say, I might put something on channel, do a bit of a giveaway for excess spinach seeds if anybody's interested, but we'll see how that goes. And another problem that I have in the exact same thing, since we are changing climates at the moment, watercress, it is just gone to seed on me. As you can see behind me, and that bed down there, there is stupid amounts of watercress seeds that are just gone to seed, and they are going to need to be pulled out soon. But I've been a little bit time strapped and I haven't had a chance to get to it yet. But why do I do all this sort of stuff? Why do I go to all the effort of growing all this stuff if I'm not actually self-sufficient? But I have a very good reason, and I'll show you why in a very, very good example. These tomatoes here are a black cherry tomato, and they're not one that you can find in the shops because they don't last very long. You'll get maybe 2 or 3 days once they've been taken off the plant and before they'll start to rot and be kind of horrible. But one thing that you can't get in the shops is tomatoes of this flavor, this caliber, and they just won't keep very well outside of these sort of plants. But it's one of the main reasons why I grow stuff for myself, why I grow cabbages in my own backyard. It's for flavor, it's for texture, and it's for variety and ease of actually getting. When we got salads that we eat, pretty much every single weekend we have salads for lunch. When I want tomatoes, I can come out and I can just choose from a fantastic selection of heirloom varieties, which is something that you cannot get in the shops. Well, at least the decent ones. So it's one of the main reasons why I do this sort of stuff and why I go to all the effort. Because anything that I can grow at home is going to be 10 times better than anything that I can buy in the shops. When I make tomato sauce, it is so much richer, so much tastier, and far, far, far superior. If you make a bolognese sauce with the tomatoes that I've grown here, you can taste the difference so much better. It's like night and day tasting the store-bought stuff versus what I can grow for myself. So that is pretty much the reason why I go to all the effort, why I build these beds that are behind me, why I keep on feeding my fish every single morning. Apart from I like the fish, they're quite cool. But it's why I do it all, because I can grow so much better stuff than I can buy at the shops. And I love experimenting with different varieties of tomatoes, different types of cucumbers, different sorts of cabbages, because there's so much different varieties that you just cannot get at the shops. But another thing that I found myself to be extremely self-sufficient in, well, hopefully, because it's still the first season, is my bees. I'll show you those guys a little bit closer. Now, we have got a relatively hot day, so they are all buzzing around, and I think they're trying to cool the hive down, but I'll zoom you guys in a little bit closer. But these are my bees. I've had them in here probably about 2 months now, if that, and they have pretty much filled up all the hive. I'm gonna need to put a super on top of it soon, which is basically another hive that you stick on top, and you make sure the queen can't get in there, and I'll just fill the whole thing up with honey. Now, I have 2 hives. This is the smaller one of the 2, and this one, and the other one, I've already had to put the super on top because I've already filled up the first batch, which is very cool. And they also help out with, where are they? And they also help out with keeping everything pollinated. I found that my fruit trees are absolutely loaded with fruit at the moment because there is just so much in there. It's insane. It's just impossible to keep up with. But talking about fruit trees, these are the best things that I would recommend putting in there the second that you move into a new house. My fruit trees have been in here about 5 years and they are growing insanely well and they are producing so much fruit. It's just insane to think about how much fruit I can actually get off these guys. In my backyard, I have apricots, I have apples, I have mandarins, I have passion fruit, I have plums, I have grapes. I've got pretty much everything that I like and want to use up. And so much of this I'm going to put through the dehydrator. I have myself a nice shiny new dehydrator and I'm going to have apples that are going to be cooled out and dehydrated. I've got apricots, I've got plums. I'm not sure if you can do plums yet, but I will find out. And that will just get us through the season. So dehydrate it, whack it in little baggies, and then take it out as you need it and eat it as you need it. So I hope this gives you guys a bit of an idea about how much I can grow, how much I can do in my own backyard and in my own space. So I'll see you guys next time. And if you've got any questions, advice, or just basically telling me that I could do a hell of a lot better, then let me know in the comments down below and I'll do my best to answer and help out. So I'll see you guys next time and thanks for watching.